What's up?
Just chilling. Let me get my hat on. My hair's too crazy looking.
Nice. Dude, I love it how jacked you are. You're fucking jacked. I'm like falling asleep a little bit, but then you're like so fucking jacked to do this. It got me excited.
I'm so jacked, man. I'm so jacked. I got a good angle on the opening show, so it just kind of inspired me. I'm basically gonna. I don't know if you have time to put the pictures that I sent you.
Yeah, where did you send them?
So I sent the Joker one.
And by the way, now that once you would register, now you can come in the class yourself and take care of this. So I
Did you,
definitely encourage that.
yeah, did you do the? Did you send it to my new
I
Gmail?
did. I
Okay,
did.
okay, I'll do that right after. Yeah. Okay, so I think these ones we're gonna look at. Whoa, that's a bad number. Those are bad things.
Yep.
uh, yeah. So what I was thinking, I have something. I prepared it. Let me just get my notes up so I stay on point. So basically, what I was gonna do is I was gonna compare Mitchell Trubisky to Tommen Baratheon from Game of Thrones,
Oh wow.
and then I was gonna go from there. So I've got it at 2 minutes 40 seconds. I just want to do just a quick check if my mouse is gonna cooperate with me. Okay, here we go. Just tell me if you can hear me. If I play this music like this, can you hear me and hear the music, or is it too loud?
No, I hear it. I hear it fine, and actually, it's good because if we officially put the music in, then when we put it on YouTube, then they might get like funny about it. So.
Yeah, so I think if it's in the back, I checked. So if it's under 3 minutes, so there's another reason I should be under 3 minutes.
Okay. By the way, make your angle a little nicer. You're a film guy, so yeah, exactly. So we could see your face. So there's not so much dead space. Like for me, I don't do this, but the thing is, at least so like there's so much dead space right now above your head. So maybe a
Right.
little more angle.
Yeah. Because I've got my monitor here, and
No, but just look. If I put you on the main stage, for example,
mhm.
um, then there's all this dead space up there. I don't know
Right. Yeah. Okay. I see.
if you can in any way. It would
So
be
let's see
nice.
if I do this.
You're looking very dapper,
Yeah. So I do this.
very mixed dapper.
Yeah, and I lean back. Then I think this is better. Yeah. Yeah. This is better. Okay.
Okay,
So
one
I think
second. Let me take a
let me just get my notes up so I don't go like for 15 minutes.
yes. So,
I
so the thing is, if it's two and if it's you, just we are going with this. I think if we start in like a minute, if we start in a minute or two, um,
Yeah.
I think if we
And you,
finish at the end of the hour, so I think 25 minutes. I think that's nice for both of us. What do you think?
yeah, and then I can do another one with Gal. Uh, it's fun. The Yeah, so you can hear the. It's a good volume for the music.
Uh, turn it up a little more. Yeah, that's
How
good.
about this? Okay.
That was good.
All right. Man, that was a tough loss.
Oh God, no, it's funny. Obviously, like it's affected your whole week. I know, I could tell.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah, that whole Monday was just like fucking. When you lose on Monday, it sucks.
it's the only thing I think. It's really the only thing I've really kind of thought about. In any kind of like everything is. I've listened to like everything that has come out. I think about this game. I listened to like. I even listened to the second Bear Barroom show. The one with Greg Braggs, which I never listened to, which was
Yeah.
like 3 hours long. Right. I even listened to that this morning. So let's see. All right, so I'm ready to go.
Okay. Wait one second. Work just wrote me real quick.
And what's your angle about? Because you wanted to have a little 2 minute opening thing as well, yeah?
It's gonna definitely change the tone. Uh, we'll let it be natural in the moment. I just hope
Cool.
it's like since I don't know what your angle is, I don't know how smooth the transition will be. Wait, you're very low in the chair again. There's so
Yeah.
much dead
Sorry,
space.
sorry, sorry. Yeah,
No, yeah, just because it's more interesting, I think, just
yeah,
to
yeah.
see
No, you're right. You're right.
your handsome face. Okay, what do you want to start with? Should we start with this one?
No, we start with a picture of Tommen Baratheon.
Oh, I'm sorry. You already put it up. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So put it in when you add a file in there. Oh,
Mhm.
you already added the file. Let's see. Can you add
Actually,
the file again?
we can start with this. It's okay because I think everybody knows who Tommen Baratheon from Game of Thrones is
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, I think so. Yep.
So, and if they don't, they're not going to understand the whole 2 minutes anyway. So
Yeah, that's right.
it's
Exactly. Exactly.
all right. So, Steven,
So
all right,
whenever you're ready, so maybe I'll just do
I'm
an
ready.
intro.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Welcome to another edition of the Chicago Bears Bonanza, Chicago football podcast. I'm Danny Boy, joined by my good old buddy Samir. And that loss against the New Orleans Saints was one of the most brutal we've seen in a long time. We start thinking of the Tressman era, unfortunately. Those back-to-back games where the Bears were having 55 points, something around that range, dropped on them. The offense wasn't getting anything together. I'm not saying it was that bad, but it sure felt like that.
Oh yeah, beyond what I thought the definition of bad could be for this season, for sure. So, Danny, if you'll allow me, I have a rant. Can I?
I figured you did. You were very emotional this week. I figured you did.
Can I go on my rant?
Go for it, man. Go for it. Go put your heart into it.
Mitchell Trubisky is Tommen Baratheon. The NFL is Game of Thrones. Tommen
Okay.
Baratheon is a sweet kid, a great kid. He's the kind of guy you want your sister or your daughter to marry. He's not a good king. It's not his fault that he became king. It's not Mitch's fault that he was drafted second overall. Game of Thrones is cruel. The NFL is cruel.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is Joffrey Baratheon, an arrogant prick who will kill you and laugh about it. Russell Wilson is Stannis Baratheon, an excellent military commander with some bad luck. Tom Brady is the Night King, a zombie that can't be killed. Patrick Mahomes is Jon Snow. He might be a bit of a dope. He's aspirational, though, and he can kill a lot of people with that sword. Deshaun Watson is Littlefinger. His team is trying to kill him. His team is trying to kill him, yet he finds a way every week to get it done. Kirk Cousins, let's look at our own division. Kirk Cousins is Khaleesi, is Daenerys Targaryen. You might go, oh, that's a woman? Yeah, that's a knock on Kirk Cousins. But here's the thing. Kirk Cousins is unstable. But when he gets on that dragon, who has been better than Kirk Cousins these last 4 weeks? 12 touchdowns, 1,000 yards, 13 yards per attempt. Incredible. Matt Stafford, listen, he's Brienne of Tarth, not the main character in anyone's story. All right? But is a killer. Tommen is the king, but is not a killer. Mitchell Trubisky that's where we are. Now, here's the thing. Cersei, Matt Nagy, I'm looking at you. Tommen is broken. He breaks, he commits suicide. Our guy Mitch.
Oh, God.
That's where we are. He's seen the Sept of Baelor explode. He's on the ledge. Now,
we're really going meta. We're going meta
this
nerd.
Is where you are. Cersei, this is where you are. Nagy, this is where you are. If you are a good coach, you will figure out a way to get Mitch right. But here's the thing. You're not the coach of Mitchell Trubisky. You are the coach of the fucking Chicago Bears.
That's right.
If you're a great coach, you're going to sit him down if he plays like this again. There's no other solution here. This is a broken guy. There's no fixing this. You have to coach the Bears. Now, here's the thing. We're done with this part of the story. We're done with the Mitchell Trubisky part of the story. We're going to the Tywin Lannister part of the story here.
Ooh, you're going there.
Tywin Lannister is Ryan Pace. Tywin Lannister is the man who was destroyed by his own legacy when his kid killed him on the toilet seat. That is what Mitchell Trubisky is doing to Ryan Pace. Now, Ryan Pace, your draft picks, questionable. You paying Chase Daniels $5 million. He's the second highest paid backup in football, second only to the guy who killed you last week, Teddy Bridgewater. Are you going to pay him to hold Mitchell Trubisky's hand, to be a blanket, or to play? You have some choices to make in the next 2 weeks that are going to define this team. It's on you, Tywin Lannister. It's on you, Ryan Pace. You are
Ooh,
the story.
whoa,
That's where
damn.
I'm at.
That is amazing, dude. That was absolutely amazing. I'm very impressed, and you've definitely put that work into that, and I am blown away by that. Amazing analysis. The metaphors, I got to think about those. I'll take my time, think about those, internalize them. I mean, listen, we're going to agree and disagree on some things. Um, it's bad. It's bad. And Mitch, wow. I mean, Mitch looked bad. And even though I've been more on the side or sometimes a Mitch apologist, though I don't consider myself, I was just being hopeful because we didn't see enough. But when you see situations happen like this, I'm going to bring it up right here. This RPO that didn't work, it was just strange. It was just strange indeed. So, Mitch, the RPO, fake handoff, and then these guys are wide open. We will never be able to know what was inside Mitch's head at this point. Okay. It's weird. And sure, if he continues to play like this, you almost have to bench him. You have to bench him just to get his head right. I understand that. I don't think we're going to get there necessarily because the Saints are a stout defense. But jokes aside, I do want to take the time now because you brought us in, and I love the metaphors, and we will talk Pace and Nagy and Mitch and how we're going to look forward. I just want to get into this a little bit.
Let's do it.
So, you know, sports for me is an escape. Okay, the world is a crazy place right now, and I've loved digging into the Chicago Bears, even when they were bad, even when they were winning 3 games and 5 games. We were still there. It was hard, but we were there. And I've needed this escape because the world sometimes is an ugly place. And, I haven't been in denial about Trubisky. And, let's say if at times I have. Well, I don't mind because I'm giving myself to this story. Following sports to me is like watching a movie. We are escaping from our everyday lives and we're putting our beliefs in a mythic hero to succeed at the end of the day, to win it all. And, we get it. We take it very seriously. But at the end of the day, Mitch succeeding or not is not like someone is on our team at work who's failing us or coming up short and this affects our company or it affects our livelihood or it's taking food out of our children's mouth. We could take the sports seriously. We can be upset, but we also get to be, yes, people, calm the fuck down. And it is a game, okay, first. And no, we should be upset because yes, this is a game. Some of us are spending money. We spent money to go to London to see a product, and the product was subpar. I mean, it's not because of Mitch. Mitch was injured. But the thing is, yes, we have a right to be upset, and I'm fucking upset. When I look at this play, or the missed throw to Taylor Gabriel, and this weird botched RPO. Mitch has multiple wide receivers. I mean, he's even staring at one, but he doesn't throw to them, and he just takes a sack. It's like, Mitch, get rid of the fucking ball. I mean, I'm frustrated as hell. Okay, I'm very
It's
frustrated.
yeah. I mean, you're fired up and you're frustrated, and I think here's the thing.
But no, no,
I
but let me stay with this. Let me stay with this. Okay, no,
Okay.
so because then I do want to hear what you have to say. I'm gonna wrap this up. But we're frustrated. We're pissed. This is subpar. No more excuses, and we should be pissed. But then when I am on Twitter this week, I also have to say some of these people on Twitter, it's like get a fucking life, okay? Because it is a game, and I love this game, and I want the best for this team. But I'm not going to get nasty on Twitter, and I'm certainly not going to start calling Mitch a bum and treating him like some piece of shit. I mean, have a little respect for people. We've accepted him into like our Bears family. And let's face it, he's not like Jay Cutler going out there acting like a little bitch or a Vontez Burfict psycho. You know, he's a young guy. He's a good kid. And you know what? Maybe he is only the top 32nd quarterback in the world right now and not the top 15 that we want him to be at least. You know what? Maybe he's not even top 50 in the world because some would argue, probably you, that a few backups are a lot better than Mitch. Fine. I'm just wanting the people on Twitter and the people who talk about sports beyond emotionally, in a certain more aggressive way that's like
Yeah.
escape from reality, just have a little
Yeah.
perspective, people. It's a business and winning is the end result. And if he's not for the man for the job, then maybe coach has to say, look, Mitch, you've given your heart and your all, but in the end, we need to try and do whatever we think is best chance for the Bears to win. It's not
Yeah.
just about you, it's about the Bears and this fandom. It's just lame for us to talk about him though, like he's some bum. So I'm gonna wrap it up. So, some might argue, he's a millionaire. Oh, it's too bad. So he just has to deal with it. But listen, all those millions might not lead to happiness. And if we're getting ridiculed every second of the day for the rest of our lives, if that's the case for Mitch, I'll feel bad. I mean, listen, he was the best player probably he's ever met in grade school. He was the best in high school, one of the best in college. He's maybe one of the best athletes he's ever met in his own life. But, when you voluntarily put yourself on the big stage, that is the NFL, one of the best sports in the world, if not the best sport in the world. You put yourself to fail, to be ridiculed. And when you don't get there, ouch. And, Mitch might be a bust and it might be ouch. I guess just it seems unfair and shallow if one day we bump into Mitch at a Jewel Osco and snicker at him for being a bum. I mean, he's put himself out there. Yes, he's a millionaire, but, you know, let's have a little dignity in the way we even talk about our people. Like, your jokes are fun, Mitch, if he's a bust, we could talk about it and say, he's a bust. But it's when people put it in this darker place that I have a problem with. So most of us Bears fans were worried about Roquan Smith's mental health. Is he just tweeting about existentialism, or is he talking about death for another reason? Not sure, but, it's really scary. And people voicing their concerns because we think he'll be good. I notice people are like, oh, we're with you, man. We're with you, man. But what? Then if he's not good and he turns out to be a bust too, then we shit talk him and call him a bum on Twitter, call him a piece of shit. So we want our team to win, people, but have a little fucking respect. That's all I'm saying.
I think that's a good rant, because I think, and we've talked about this before, for me, at some point, the conversation about Mitch, and I think this is last year at some point, the conversation about Mitch is more interesting than Mitch himself. Like, I kind of knew what Mitch was last year, and it's fine. Like, I think he's not a good quarterback. I don't think he's a bum, and I don't think, and I think I've been pretty consistent. Like, I am not the type of person who's going to go and try to talk to Mitchell Trubisky. It's not, I don't want to know him more than what I know him now. And from what I know now, he seems like a great guy. That's why that's why I say he's Tommen Baratheon. And I mean, you can keep going with this, right? Like, because like Tommen Baratheon, if he was 31 and he becomes king, I think he would have been a good king. I think Mitchell Trubisky, it's like, it's not his fault where he was drafted. It's not his fault he plays in a big market. It's not his fault that, none of these things are not his fault.
Let's face it, the Bears traded up. It's the 100 years. We've never had a franchise quarterback. Mahomes Watson trading up. I mean, and also the whole Glennon thing. I mean, the whole way, it's sad. It's sad that he was having these great expectations on his shoulders for a guy who barely played any games.
I mean, the Glennon thing, because now I think there has been on the conversation, and I want to keep this meta, right? Because we can look at the individual plays. I think that's been done already. It's been done already, and yet these are culture-killing plays. These are soul-crushing, culture-destroying plays that are happening with Mitchell Trubisky as a quarterback, and there's no getting around that. It doesn't mean that he's not trying hard. It doesn't mean that he's not out. I put a comment on Twitter. I would boo Mitchell Trubisky if it came out he was at 6 a.m. in the morning doing lines of coke off two hookers. Okay,
exactly.
Then you boo, right?
People would secretly be like, "Man, that's awesome," but yeah, we would boo. Exactly.
Then you boo him, right? Then it's okay to boo him. But this is a guy, and this is what I say: he's broken. I mean, you don't have to be a clinical psychologist to tell me that is an unhappy person. Just look at his face. You don't have to. You don't have to be some kind of medical professional guy to say that this guy his confidence is completely gone. He doesn't even look up the field anymore. The plays, that Burton drop, and I know we weren't going to talk about individual plays, but I want to bring up this one because this one has not.
No, it's okay. That's part of the meta conversation.
This play has not been brought up. That Burton drop that he had. Remember that play in the second quarter, Burton drop?
Yeah, sure.
Everyone thinks, oh, wow, Burton dropped it. What a fool. Oh, that guy sucks, right? But here's the thing. That play, you've seen that play. Brett Coleman has done the breakdown of that play. It's called Seattle Sail, okay? We've run that play 50 times. I've seen NFL teams run that 100 times. On that route, Burton is like the fourth option. His only job there is to clear out the defender, which he does. And Mitchell Trubisky is supposed to go to the Gabriel, who's wide open 20 yards up the field. So Burton is not even contemplating catching this football because he's in his mind, he's done his job. He's cleared out the linebacker. That job done. Never have I seen on 150 times. I've never seen, and I looked back at my notes on this play. Never have you seen a quarterback make that decision. And with stuff like that, that tells me he's broken. Because this is a play that you practiced again,
Okay.
again, and again.
Okay. No, the
What
thing is,
you cannot explain that, right? That's not.
I definitely think, I think part of him is broken as well. I mean, I really do. It was a broken RPO that was just strange. It was
Crazy.
just strange.
Crazy.
And know what? You have to wonder. You have to wonder: is it a collection of, that first year he's drafted, he's in the John Fox system, and it was just like, don't turn the ball over, don't turn the ball over. Even if it means you only throw the ball 4 times a game, do not turn the ball over. And so you had that level of containing him.
Yeah,
Okay. And no, listen, no, hear me out. Hear me out. I heard you out. Now you'll hear me out. Thank you. No, stop. So, so there's that element. And then there's the Nagy playbook. And then, all these elements of the playbook, the high expectations of all the things we talked about. You're the draft pick, you're the number 2. They traded up to get you. Watson, Mahomes, all these things combined, whatever it is, the guy's locked in his head. I mean, we know what a diligent worker he is, what a diligent person he is. We know that out of any quarterback in the league, he's probably spending the most time, working on his mechanics. But then in the end, we still see the same mechanical breakdown over and over and over again. And so, yeah, that tells me that just like, yes, Mitch, when he's on the side, of course, that's a calm moment. But the thing is, when he's in in the tense moments of the game, he's experiencing some sort of trauma. It's maybe not even fun for him. He's just so
Yeah,
pressuring himself and beating himself to beat
there
all that he has
is
to
no
beat and to beat.
joy,
It's
and
yeah,
that is affecting the whole team. The whole team plays completely joyless football. They all of them look like, and that comes from the quarterback. They look like they hate being there. Mitch definitely looks like he hates being there. The stress, the pressure. But I mean, Danny, does it even matter? Do the reasons now at this point? Does it even matter? Does it really matter the causes of this? Don't we have to look forward now? I mean, like, does it matter?
we are going to look forward. We are definitely going to look forward. Whatever ends up turning out, unless it's just like a huge, massive turnaround, which most of us don't see, they will be bringing somebody next year. Lauren Cox said that he doesn't see them bringing in somebody this year. And yeah, that even if it's a mistake, they'll play it out to the end of the year, for better or for worse. That's the way I see it. And in the end, listen, I still think, as Lauren Cox actually mentioned in one of his episodes, that, I still think the Bears can pull together some victories. And at times we could see Mitch, do some decent stuff. Again, I don't put it on just Nagy's play calling, though imperfect in 100 ways, and we can get into that. The different role players around him, 100 ways they could have been better. But yeah, we know how the NFL works. It all goes through the QB. And, Mitch hasn't made the plays. And, if he continues to play like this, he
I mean,
most likely will not be the Bears starter next year.
just one thing on the Nagy, because on the Nagy play, the run thing is a story. Listen, you got to run it more than 7 times. I'm not going to say that that's enough.
Obviously.
But here's the thing, okay? The Saints are running with 3 defensive tackles. They're running 5 guys on the line of scrimmage. Walter Payton with the Dallas Cowboys, the offensive line, is not going to go anywhere
Yep.
when you have that defensive formation.
Yep.
It's a kill box, right?
Nagy realized, and
Yeah.
Nagy's no dummy. He realized what he's going to keep running and get 1 yard, and then every time it's 3rd and long. So
Yeah.
I do get that. The run game is completely broken.
Yeah.
It is completely broken, whether it's scheme or what. It is completely broken. So yeah, I could understand. It's not music to our ears, and it's easy for a bunch of lazy analysts to be like, "Oh, they should run the ball more." But
You have to
we
pass.
we are getting tackled
Open up the
before they're already across the line of scrimmage to the defense. before the handoff has even happened yet. I mean, it's blown up before it begins. So I don't know if that's scheme or all these things, and obviously Nagy has to go back to the drawing board, but obviously not working doesn't help Mitch. But in the
I
end,
mean,
there have been enough opportunities, and there was enough pass protection,
yeah,
as I believe Robert Schmidt just looked at the tape and was saying that there was surprisingly good pass protection.
yes.
Mitch should have made some passes. It might not have made the difference, but it wouldn't have been this product
So
because this offense from Green Bay to this is just a bad, bad
yeah.
fucking product.
Here's the thing now, and Mitch, I looked this up before because this is going to be a topic. I looked it up. Mitch, there's only 10 quarterbacks that are getting more clean pocket looks than Mitch this year. Okay, so this storyline that they're not protecting him is false, right? Now the run storyline. Here's the thing: the run blocking, yeah, it's 18th in the league. It's not where you want it to be. It's in the bottom half, but it's not a disaster. There are more than a dozen teams that have worse run blocking than we do, right? It's the fact that we have 7, 8 guys. Here's some stats for you, Danny. Okay, shotgun running in 8-man against the box. The league average right now is 2.8 yards. Okay, that's the worst. It's one of the least effective things you can do. It's more effective to run on 3rd and 9 than it is to run from shotgun into 8-man in the box. And the Bears aren't even seeing 8-man in the box. They're seeing 9, 10 guys waiting there with a big fat extra defensive tackle. What is Nagy supposed to do? That's why he runs to the outside because it's a kill box. You can't run up the middle. The only solution, and this is the hard part,
You pass to open up the run game.
is to throw the ball. That's the only solution.
You pass to open up the run game. You run to open up the pass game.
Yeah.
In this case,
no
choice but to pass to open up the run game. From my armchair,
that's the right analysis. And the throws are there. If you have 10 guys in the box, you have guys all day open in single coverage. If you're a professional quarterback, if you just go back and show that last play with the 2 open guys, this is what we call a Pythagorean throw. Okay, so a Pythagorean throw is a throw that any quarterback at any level should be able to make. These are 6-7 yard open throws.
Yeah, and look at he's facing out. Even if this guy comes up, it's a short throw, so it should be fine.
You don't need to have good footwork. You don't need to have good mechanics to be an NFL quarterback. Look across your room. That's 6 yards, Danny. You don't have to have perfect form. You can just throw it, right? And he struggles with this. And this is, to me, why now. And I said this is a eulogy for Mitchell Trubisky. I'm done with talking about him as a franchise quarterback. And if I get it, people want to hope, and I agree with a lot of the stuff you said. That Greg Bragg says a lot of the same stuff. You want him to be the guy. So Greg Bragg,
we got to believe in something. Yeah, we got to believe in something. And even when we've seen a lot of work of his, but we're like we still reserve hope that he's going to click in his head and get the confidence.
I believe in Nagy. I believe in pace. This is where my attention is. To me, Mitch has that chapter's closed now. I mean, because none of this is a revelation, by the way.
Alex Brown is pretty sure about that as well.
This is a continuation. What has changed dramatically this year? Last year, Mitchell Trubisky, 75% of his dropbacks were clean pocket and first receiver was open. This year, it's 65%, and you see the difference. There is nothing else he can. He needs that, and he can't get it. And it's irresponsible for you to think that Nagy's going to get there. Now, to me, it's about pace and Nagy. What are they going to do? When are we going to see Chase? Now, Chase is not the answer. Don't get it twisted. Chase is not going to lead us to the Super Bowl.
No.
But listen, Chase Daniels in the 2 games that he played is in the top 15 in yards per attempt, quarterback rating, completion percentage, PFF grade if you care about that kind of stuff, and yards per game. Mitchell Trubisky is not in the top 30 for any of this stuff. He's not in the top 30 for any of this stuff. Mitchell Trubisky is not the answer. Chase Daniels, I don't think is the answer. But he's better than Mitchell Trubisky right now. He's better in every single metric. And maybe that changes after he plays for 4 or 5 games, and it probably will. But you got to make this move because it's killing the team.
I just don't get. I also, okay. Let's say we know what Mitch was. I mean, obviously I still put a lot on Nagy of just why isn't Mitch doing some design runs? Even if you have a spy on him, you have enough QBs who are doing that. all this stuff though, in the end, still doesn't seem like it's going to be enough. I mean, there's too many things that aren't in place. I mean, even just seeing, whether it's, David Montgomery. I mean, I believe this kid could still shine, but missed a key block against Anthony Miller, helped lead to Anthony Miller's fumble. I mean, there were so many lackluster routes run.
Danny, this is what I mean. It doesn't matter if the quarterback cannot throw to the first receiver who's open consistently. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't. And at this stage, 32 games in, and I'm going to leave on this topic. Okay, here's another Bears quarterback. Both had 32 games. Both had 6,000 total yards. Both are about 60% completion percentage. Both have 35 touchdowns. Now the second guy has 23, has 3 more picks than Mitch does. That second guy is Jim Miller.
I knew you were going to say Jim Miller for some reason. I knew it.
That was 20 years ago, Danny. 20 years ago, he's giving you similar production, and the league has completely changed. We thought 20 years ago, Jim Miller is not the guy. We were sure of it. Why is this a conversation anymore with Mitch? So to me,
listen, we've been in denial a little bit, of course.
It doesn't. The reasons, he's a sweet guy. He's a great guy. I like Mitch. When I see him, if I ever see him in person, I'm going to say, "Hey, I wish it worked out for you, buddy." That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, be nice to him.
I wish it worked out for you, buddy. That's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anything else.
You're not gonna mention his nipples, because usually you talk about his nipples.
But 20 years. We have to have some perspective here. 20 years ago, this is what we thought of Jim Miller. He's giving you the same level of production. Why is it a conversation in a league where it's easier to pass now than ever? And has Jim Miller,
because you spent the draft capital, man.
Yeah, this is sunk cost fallacy, and this is what I don't like. This is what I don't like. Hold on, I got to say.
Okay.
Here's the last thing. Sunk cost fallacy. This is the most dangerous type of thinking. It's like you spend your life savings on a house, and you find out that there's a vicious haunted house killer in there. It's haunted, and you decide to stay. You're like, well, I spent the money, so maybe I'll die in this house. It's a crazy idea, right? Yes, you're right. That's the difference. Jim Miller, we got him off the scrap heap somewhere, so we let him go. But it's the same. It's worse production than Jim Miller. This is not a thing for me anymore, right?
No, it's funny. I totally, the whole sunken costs, idea definitely rings true a lot of the times. And I try to wonder why do I still believe in them? Why do they still? And I'm wondering if part of it has to do with trying to set a good cultural precedent that, we've invited somebody into our family and we got to give them a real chance. And so this is why I've been not apologetic for Mitch, but I'm like, no, we have to give him a real chance, and sometimes things take time. And that's how I felt. No, listen, that's how I felt even a few games ago. When I saw some of the things, when I saw some of those plays in this game, like that broken RPO, the fact that it was 1st and 10, it was then he lost 8 yards, and all of a sudden, we're starting to, make moves, and then it was like 2nd and long. It broke me. I don't know why that one play just broke me. I'm just like, why didn't he get rid of the ball? Why didn't he throw it to the open guys? It's harder and harder and harder to make any of these excuses, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. And I'm pissed. I hate watching this offense. When I see this team, I'm staying up late night because that's the time it is here in Tel Aviv, and I'm just miserable staying up and watching this offense. And I hate the product. I've given him that chance because we've invited him to his family, and that's what we do. We give him a chance. But then at the same time, while we have to be that franchise that has that special brotherly quality, we at the same time can't be suckers. We can't just hold on forever for some nostalgic reasons.
What do you need to see to change your mind here? Because I think we both agree this is not the franchise quarterback. We both agree on that, I think, right?
It doesn't seem like it's going to be. Doesn't seem like it's going to be at all.
I mean, I'm at 0%.
But yeah, I mean, no, listen, even my mind, it's a different decision from my mind and my heart. Listen, if I'm just looking at strictly from my mind, he doesn't pass the eye test. Absolutely not. But again, my heart is saying that, know what? Obviously, they traded up for the guy, picked him over Watson and Mahomes for a reason. I mean, you start creating this narrative in your head. And so it's that narrative in the head and the fact that he has such a work ethic that makes me believe, yes, somehow this guy can get out of his own head and get out of his own way and be decent. And I still believe that, know what, we might see some decent games out of Mitch, sure. But the thing is, right now in this situation with the Bears, with the expectation of you're going to go to Super Bowl, you're going to be the franchise QB, and you're going to even be able to be in a category of Watson Mahomes, all those things right now
No
are
way.
not going to help, and they will completely prevent him from
Yeah.
even being a competent
Yes.
QB in the league. It seems like that.
I don't see what he can change that would change anybody's mind here, right? Like, it would have to be such a transformation that, to me, on a human level, to come back to what you said at the very beginning, on a human level, is it fair to want something like that? Like, if you're one of my best friends, I would ask you for money. But
I give it happily.
but if I asked you for $250,000 and you said, "Hey, Samir, I don't have it," I'm not going to be angry with you. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean. It's like, if we care about this guy on a human level, you got to let him go, because it's not helping him as a human. This is an unhappy person, and the players only meeting thing now. And this is another thing, and I think this is where we end today's show. Is that going to help him? And especially now that, because at the time, here's the timeline, by the way, for the players only thing, just because I'm not sure if you were following it. Monday, Bojack wants it to happen Tuesday morning. It doesn't happen on Tuesday morning. We don't know why. Amakamura, Gabriel, and Jackson say it's going to happen this week. Now, to me, players only meetings, these are very dangerous things. The last time we had this was November 2014 in the Trestman era. That didn't go very well.
Different team, different culture.
Yeah, different guys in the locker room. But they generally don't go well. Things don't generally happen well. The players only meetings are because you don't feel as a player you can say something around the coaches. That there's an underlying thing there. And now the fact that you were going to have it and you're not going to have it and you're practicing, this is not good for Mitch. I mean, this is not helping anything.
This is why people like Mariota get benched, even though just like his backup is not going to be maybe the future of the team. But the thing is, sometimes you got to know when to sit somebody down. Mitch came in. I wish Mitch really did have that full season sitting on the bench and you had a competent starter. Unfortunately, we picked up Glennon, and that wasn't the case. So Mitch was thrust in the role to be the savior of this franchise. And the thing is, the storyline got away from the Bears from the get-go. And, it blew up our expectation, astronomically. And now it's hard to come down.
Moving forward is the hardest thing to do here. And I think to me, there's an old adage in business. Don't cheat because you're going to get caught. Try to be smarter, but that's really hard to do because everyone is smart. But be first. Be first. That's how you're going to be successful. This is what the Patriots do. This is what the Steelers do. They're first. There's a crazy rumor out there that Tom Brady's going to be the quarterback of the Chicago Bears next season. I don't know if you saw this.
Yeah.
Because they're building to get off Tom Brady next year because they want to be first. They don't care. This is football. This is Game of Thrones. There's a cruelty to the game.
I get it.
That you have to lean into if you're going to be.
It. My rant at the beginning, and I'll just kind of wrap it up, is just that. Listen, let's be respectful. He's a human being. Yeah. But listen, this is a business, and it doesn't have to be a cold, cruel business in some respects. There's that human element. But the thing is, at some point, the coach has to know when to say, listen, I got to put this team. I owe it to all these other players, too, who are not only putting their best in, but they're getting results. So I owe it to them to validate their hard work that's actually getting results. And, unfortunately, since you're not putting these results in, you might have to be benched until you prove otherwise. That's not unfair. Maybe that needs to happen sooner rather than later.
Let's finish on a positive.
Yep.
Chargers game next week. I expect the Bears to come back.
I think so.
Now,
they will not lose to that crummy team, boy.
Now, if they lose that game, I mean the wheels are already off, but you can still put them back on the car. I think so too. This could be a playoff team.
I think so too. It's going to be tough.
But I don't think that involves Mitchell Trubisky. I think that's where we differ. And we agree to disagree here, right? I think we're cool about this. We're good friends. Mitchell Trubisky is not going to come between us.
That's right. The Star Wars Episode 8 or Mitch Trubisky even not come between us. Okay, we have our opinions.
I think we can make the playoffs if we have an average quarterback play, which is what I thought at the beginning of the season. I still believe that today. I think this is still one of the 10 best rosters in football. I think I think if you have average quarterback play, you can get there. And I think that average quarterback play is going to be Chase Daniels. I also think we have to make a trade at the deadline. I think we must. And we're going to talk about that next week after the trade deadline is.
Sounds good, my friend.
I'll talk about it now. I think we can beat the Chargers. But I have this fear, though, that I didn't have a week ago. If we lose that game, it's going to be full nuclear. It's going to be full nuclear. The Saints game was a game we had to win. And it makes me uncomfortable that week to week we're saying this is a game we have to win. This is a game we have to win.
They're a good team.
We say this every week, and we said this the last 3 weeks.
They're a good team, but the Chargers are so crummy. This is a must win because it's like if you can't beat the crap out of a crappy team, that means you are a crappy team. And I agree. Average quarterback play with our defense. I think our defense was just, obviously they weren't perfect. The thing is, they were tired. We could blame a lot of the second half, falling back on, I think, tiredness. They've been on the field the whole time. The thing is, I still am reserving some sort of dream scenario where Mitch could be that average quarterback, but it doesn't change all the scenarios of maybe perhaps the possibility of bringing somebody in, if not this year, well, then definitely next year. I will still reserve hope, but it's not looking great. But yes, we have to beat those crummy Chargers. Let's leave it at that, my friend.
All right, buddy.
Absolute pleasure. Bear down. And folks, keep it real. Obviously, you got to put your opinion out there, but try to do it in a respectful way. Obviously, it is just a game. Let's enjoy. Let's have some fun. And go team, go. Go Bears.
All right. That was a good show.
Nice, man.
That was a good show, I think.
Yeah, it was very nice.